Uju was only 8 years old when she disappeared. It was a sunny afternoon in Omuama, a small village by the coast. The villagers were busy, some at the river washing clothes, others in their farms or cooking at home. The sky was clear, and the wind carried the smell of salt water. Uju had been playing by herself near the bushes that led to the river. That's when she saw the bird. It was the most beautiful bird she had ever seen. Its feathers were shiny with colors blue, green, gold. The bird hopped from branch to branch, singing a soft tune. Then it flew slowly toward the river. Curious, Uju followed it. She didn't tell anyone. She just followed, thinking the bird was leading her to something special. But Uju never came back. Later that day, when her mother noticed she was missing, she raised the alarm. The villagers searched everywhere. They looked in the bushes, the farms, and even the forest. Some men went to the river and started calling her name. Uju, Uju. Her mother cried as they searched. All they found were her yellow slippers, sitting neatly by the riverbank. Everyone was shocked. There were no signs of struggle, no footprints, nothing but the slippers. Some people said she drowned. Others believed something else had taken her. She followed a spirit, an old woman whispered. That night, the village was quiet. Even the wind seemed to stop blowing. The elders poured libation and offered prayers to the river. They asked it to return the child, but the river gave back nothing. Days turned to weeks. No body was found. The villagers built a small wooden shrine near the river to remember her. People left small gifts there, candles, sweets, and flowers. But Uju was gone. Some children stopped going to the river alone. Parents warned their children, if you see a strange bird, don't follow it. But even though many years passed, no one forgot Uju. Far away in the city of Lagos, another girl was fighting a different battle. Her name was Precious. She had just finished her National Youth Service, NYSC, and was job hunting. She had stayed in Lagos, hoping to find a good job, but it didn't go as planned. At first, she had hope. She applied to many places, printed many CVs, and attended interviews. But no job came. Her savings began to finish. Transport fare became a problem. She sometimes skipped meals just to save money. One day, she sat on a bench at Ojulegba and cried. Her rent was due, her phone had no data, and she only had 412 Nigerian nairas left in her account. Lagos was too hard. With no job, no money, and no family left in the city, Precious decided to return to her late uncle's village, Omuama. When she arrived, the village looked the same as she remembered it as a little girl, quiet, dusty, and peaceful. Her uncle's house was old, but still standing. She started doing small jobs for people, washing clothes, running errands, and even helping at a small food stall. But the money wasn't enough. She wanted more. Precious had learned how to make hair during NYSC. She knew how to braid, fix weaves, make wigs, and do all kinds of salon work. She decided to start her own salon, but she didn't have enough money to rent a shop. She asked around for help. She even applied for some small grants, but got no response. One day, her friend Chica pointed at an old building near the river. Why not use that place? Chica said. Precious frowned. That building? But it looks abandoned. Yes, it is. But it's empty. Just go and ask the youth leaders for permission. Precious did. She met with the youth chairman and a few elders. They warned her. That place is close to the river. Strange things happen there, one man said. But Precious didn't believe in village superstitions. She was desperate. She bought them some drinks to thank them for their time. Soon, they agreed to let her use the building. The next day, she moved in. The building was dusty and dark. The windows were broken, and cobwebs hung in every corner. But it was a roof over her head. She cleaned it up, set up her small table and chair, and arranged her little stock of hair products and wigs. She used her last savings to buy a mirror, a mannequin head, and some hair extensions. Every day, she waited for customers. Some days, only one person came. Some days, nobody. She started feeling sad and lonely. She felt like a failure. She wanted to leave the village, but she had nowhere else to go. She had no parents, no brothers or sisters, nobody to help. Each night, she cried before sleeping. Her friend Chica tried to cheer her up, but it didn't help much. One night, just after midnight, Precious heard a knock on her door. She froze. "Who could be knocking at this time?" she whispered. She didn't answer. The knock came again. Then again. She slowly stood up and tiptoed to the door. "Who is it?" she asked. No answer. She slowly opened the door. Standing outside was a young woman. She looked about Precious's age. Her skin was glowing, and her dress sparkled even in the darkness. "Can I come in?" the girl asked softly. Precious nodded, too shocked to speak. The girl walked in and sat down. "I came to help you," she said. "I can make your salon successful. I can make you rich. But you must do as I say." Precious blinked. "Who are you?" "Someone who sees your pain. Someone who wants to turn your story around." The girl told her she would help her sell wigs. All she had to do was trust her. Precious wanted to say no, but something inside her said yes. Maybe this was her chance. Maybe this was the only way. "Okay," she said. "I agree." The girl smiled and stood up. "Good. I will be back." She turned and walked out the door. Precious followed her. The girl walked toward the river. Then something strange happened. She didn't stop at the edge. She walked into the river. Not like someone going for a swim. Not like someone sinking. She just disappeared into the water. Precious gasped. Her heart beat fast. She looked around. No one else saw it. No one else heard it. She ran back into the building and locked the door. She didn't sleep that night. She waited. What had she agreed to? What would happen next? Precious did not sleep that night. She sat on the floor of her small salon, wide awake and thinking. What did she agree to? Who was that girl? Where did she go? At exactly 6 a.m., Precious opened her door. She needed fresh air. But what she saw made her mouth fall open. A bag. A big, black, shiny bag sat right outside her door. She looked left. She looked right. Nobody was in sight. Slowly, she picked up the bag and took it inside. She opened the bag carefully. Her eyes widened. Wigs. Beautiful wigs. Long curly wigs. Braided wigs. Bone-straight wigs. Wigs in colors she had never seen: gold, burgundy, wine red, ocean blue. She counted them. 24 wigs. Precious couldn't believe her eyes. They looked expensive. Some even had tags on them. She placed them one by one on the shelves and mannequin heads. The salon looked new, fresh, rich. But how did she get these? Precious whispered. "Why give them to me?" She had no answer. She only knew one thing. This was a blessing. At 9 a.m., a lady walked into her shop. "Are you the one selling wigs?" Precious nodded slowly. "I saw your advert online." "On TikTok." Precious blinked. "TikTok?" "Yes, now. Your video is trending." Precious did not have a TikTok account. Before noon, 5 more ladies came. By 2 p.m., she had sold 10 wigs. By 5 p.m., she had made over 500,000 Nigerian nairas. Her hands shook as she counted the money. "What is happening?" she whispered. The next day, the crowd doubled. Hair appointments, wig bookings, walk-ins. Some people bought wigs just to touch them. The village had never seen anything like it. Women from nearby towns started visiting. "Is she a celebrity?" one woman asked. "No," another replied. "But there's something about her wigs." That evening, Mama Ozioma watched Precious from across the road. Mama Ozioma was old. She sold fried yam pancakes and puff-puff near her shop. She was known for praying aloud and reading her Bible while she fried food. She watched Precious with narrowed eyes. "There's something not clean here," she whispered. She had lived in Omuama all her life. And she remembered Uju. She remembered the slippers by the river. She watched the river too. That night, Mama Ozioma dreamt of fire, of hair that grew like snakes, of a girl in a white dress walking into the river. She woke up sweating. "God protect us," she prayed. But the story was just beginning. The next morning, Precious woke up with a smile on her face for the first time in weeks. Her salon was alive. It smelled like shampoo, perfume, and money. She cleaned the floor, wiped the mirrors, and brushed the wigs one by one. Her shelves were almost empty. Out of the 24 wigs, she had only 5 left. Chica ran into the shop with excitement. "Precious. Girl. You are trending on Facebook, oh." Precious dropped her comb. "Facebook? But I don't even post on Facebook. Your salon is going viral. People are sharing videos of their makeovers. One girl said your wigs helped her pass her WEC." Precious laughed nervously. That one is overhyping it. But deep down, she was scared. What was happening? At around 11 a.m., a white car parked in front of the salon. A rich-looking woman stepped out. She wore gold jewelry and heels that clicked like power. "I want 3 wigs," she said, looking around. "Can you deliver to Enugu?" "Yes, ma," Precious said, trying not to sound too shocked. The woman bought 3 wigs, paid in full, and left. By nightfall, Precious had made over 1.2 million Nigerian nairas in 2 days. She counted the money again and again. She danced. She screamed. She even called Chica and cooked rice and stew for both of them to celebrate. That night, Chica stayed over. They sat on the floor, eating and laughing. But at midnight, it happened again. Another knock. This time, it was softer. Precious and Chica looked at each other. "Are you expecting anyone?" Chica asked. Precious shook her head. Her smile disappeared. Slowly, she stood up and walked to the door. She opened it. There she was again, the river girl. Same glowing skin, same quiet eyes. But this time, she held a golden box. "I brought you something new," she said. Precious stepped back. "Again, these are special," the river girl said. "They are not wigs. They are leaves. Very special leaves." "Leaves?" "Yes. They shine in the dark. They carry power. Sell them. You will be richer than before." Precious opened the box. Inside were glowing leaves. Smooth, wet-looking, beautiful and strange. But her heart began to race. Something about these leaves didn't feel right. "I don't want to sell leaves," Precious said quietly. The river girl's face changed. Her smile disappeared. "Rejected, and you will lose more than just the leaves." Precious swallowed hard. "Okay, I'll keep them." "Good," the girl said. "You will see what happens next." She turned and walked away, disappearing into the river again. The next morning, Precious displayed the leaves beside the wigs. She didn't even know what to price them. To her shock, people started buying. One man bought 5 leaves and said he felt a strong energy from them. A woman said the leaf helped her sleep better. The leaves sold fast, but the problems came faster. That week was the worst of her life. She started having bad dreams. She saw shadows crawling on her walls. She heard whispers when no one was around. She argued with Chica. She argued with a customer and chased her out. One woman who bought a leaf fainted in church during praise and worship. Another said her husband suddenly started acting like a stranger. And then Gloria died. Gloria was a quiet girl who bought a leaf and a wig. She was found dead in her room 2 days later, her body cold, her eyes wide open. People began to whisper, "It's the wigs." "No, it's the leaves. She's using juju." Precious has joined a cult. Some cried for Gloria. Others said they must continue buying the wigs and leaves. "Me, I don't care," one woman said. "Since I bought that wig, my shop has not lacked customers." A few even said Gloria's death was a small price for the blessings. Precious didn't know what to do. She sat in her shop crying, her hands shaking. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she whispered. Mama Ozioma walked up to her one evening. She placed her hand on Precious's shoulder and said softly, "When God gives something, it comes with peace, not confusion." Precious looked at her and forced a smile. "I'm okay, Mama. This is my time. I'm just working hard." Mama Ozioma nodded and walked away. But she wasn't smiling. She knew darkness when she saw it. That night, another knock. The river girl was back. This time, with a red glittering box. She didn't even wait for Precious to speak. "This wig is for you. Only you. No one else must wear it. Put it on." Precious didn't want to argue. She took the wig. It was soft, silky, dark red with silver lines. It glowed faintly. She placed it on her head. Instantly, her eyes rolled back. She dropped to her knees. She entered a trance. She saw water, deep water. She saw women, not just any women. They had no souls. Their eyes were empty. Their smiles were wide and wrong. She saw herself under the water, doing hair for them, braiding their heads while spirits watched and clapped. She wanted to scream. She wanted to pull off the wig, but she couldn't. Then she saw her family, her dead mother, her father, and her younger sister. All of them under the water. They were not smiling. Precious screamed. She woke up, gasping for air. She ran to the mirror. She looked at her face. She gasped. Her face was changing. Her eyes were turning bright blue. Her skin looked paler. Her cheeks were sharper. She was becoming different. Half human, half something else. She touched her face. What have I become? She turned to the mirror again. And then she saw something else. A figure, standing behind her, smiling, waiting. Precious could not sleep. She sat on the cold floor of her salon, the red wig still glued tightly to her head. No matter how hard she pulled, it didn't move. Her fingers trembled as she stared into the mirror. The girl in the mirror wasn't her. Her face was longer. Her eyes were glowing faint blue. Her lips looked fuller, and her skin shimmered like it was dipped in silver. "God, what's happening to me?" she whispered. From behind, she heard a voice. "You're becoming who you were chosen to be." Precious turned sharply. No one was there. She backed away and sat against the wall, panting. The mirror was still glowing faintly, and then the reflection moved. Not her real self, the mirror self. It blinked when she didn't blink. It smiled when she was frowning. Precious screamed and threw a comb at the mirror. It cracked slightly, but the face still stared back. The next morning, Precious wrapped a scarf over the wig. She didn't want people seeing her strange new look. She stepped outside, trying to act normal. But things were far from normal. People were staring at her like never before. Some whispered and pointed. Others just smiled strangely. Is it just me, she thought, or is everyone acting weird? She got to her shop and found 2 customers already waiting. One was a teenage girl with wide eyes. The other was a man in a white shirt who said nothing. He only stared. She ignored them and opened her shop. That day, she didn't speak much. She worked like a robot. Her hands moved fast, her eyes stayed low, and her thoughts were scattered. Every time she passed by a mirror or window, she saw the other face again, half her, half something else. Later that evening, Chica came in. "Precious, everyone is talking about you. They say your wigs are working miracles." Precious sighed. "Miracles?" "Yes, someone said she got pregnant after wearing one. Another person's husband returned home after 3 years." Precious was too tired to be excited. "What did I agree to?" she muttered under her breath. That night, she lit a candle and sat in front of her cracked mirror. "If this is a curse, let it end," she whispered. She tried to pray but couldn't. Her mouth refused to form the words. Then, without warning, she heard singing. It came from outside, a soft, watery song, like someone humming from the riverbank. She stood up slowly and opened the door. Nothing. Then she looked toward the river and saw them. Figures. 3 of them. Women with glowing eyes and flowing hair. They were standing just by the water, watching her. Not moving, not speaking, watching. Precious slammed the door shut and locked it. She backed away, breathing hard. Suddenly, there was a voice in her head. "You're part of us now." She fell to her knees. "No, I didn't sign up for this. I just wanted to make hair. I just wanted to survive." The room went cold. She looked at her reflection again. This time, the face in the mirror wasn't just watching her. It spoke. "You must choose. Keep the gift or return it." "But I can't remove the wig," she shouted. The face smiled. "Then wear your crown, River Child." The mirror cracked again, this time deeply. Then silence. The next day, Precious decided to go see Mama Ozioma. She needed help. When she arrived at Mama's food stand, the old woman was frying plantain. She looked up and saw Precious. She didn't smile. "I was expecting you," Mama said. Precious sat on a stool. "Mama, something is wrong. Very wrong." Mama Ozioma nodded. "I told you before. Gifts from the river don't come free. Even blessings can be traps." "I want to stop," Precious whispered. "I want out." "Then you must return what was given. And that means going back to where it started." Precious's heart dropped. "You mean the river?" Mama nodded slowly. "The river must take back what it gave. But be warned, it may ask for more." Precious felt cold all over. "More?" "Yes," Mama said, turning her plantain. "It may not want just the wigs or the leaves. It may want you." That night, Precious stood at the riverbank. She held the red wig box tightly. The water was still, silent, waiting. She stepped forward. Suddenly, a soft voice called out. "Going somewhere?" She turned. The river girl stood behind her. She was not smiling. "Did you think you could walk away?" Precious opened the box and held it out. "Take it. Take everything back." The river girl walked slowly to her, eyes glowing. "You made a deal. You wore the crown. You danced with us under the water." Precious's hand shook. "I didn't know. I didn't understand. That's not our fault." She snapped her fingers, and from the water, hands rose. Pale hands, wet hands, reaching. Precious screamed. The box fell into the river. The hands grabbed it and pulled it under. Then they reached for her legs. She kicked and ran back, falling into the sand. The river girl laughed. Not a sweet laugh this time, but dark, hollow. "You are halfway gone. You can't escape now." Then she vanished into the water. Precious lay in the sand, shaking. She had returned the box. But something told her the river wasn't done with her yet. Precious didn't open her shop for 2 days. She stayed inside, covering all the mirrors with cloth. She avoided the window. Even her phone, she switched it off. She couldn't take another mysterious message or praise report that felt like a curse in disguise. But her peace didn't last long. On the third morning, someone knocked. Not the soft, ghostly knock like before. This one was loud and real. "Open up." It was Chica. Precious opened the door slowly. Chica barged in. "What's going on?" "Your shop is locked. Everyone's asking for you. You're trending again, Precious. They say your wigs are healing people now." Precious shook her head, eyes red from crying. "Chica, I think I've made a terrible mistake." Chica paused. "What do you mean?" Precious sat down and told her everything. From the river girl's first visit, the wigs, the red box, the trance, and the terrible vision she had while wearing the last wig. Chica's face went pale. "You mean all these wigs came from the river?" "Spirit wigs." Precious nodded. "Yes. And I think they're taking something in return." Chica took a step back. "You have to stop this." "I tried. I went to the river to return it all. But she told me I can't walk away. I'm halfway gone." "What does that even mean?" "I don't know," Precious shouted. "But I think something is changing in me. I feel things. I hear things. Even now." That night, the whispers began. It started as a trickle, a soft hum from the corner of her room. Then voices, familiar ones. She heard her mother's voice, her sister's laughter, her father's deep hum when he used to water the garden. But they were wrong. They were calling her name in a slow, stretched-out tone, almost mocking. Preet Shasias. She sat up, her body drenched in sweat. "No, no, no." She covered her ears, but the voices got louder. This time, they were speaking full sentences. "Come home. Serve us. You're not meant for dry land." Then came the pain. Her scalp burned like fire. She ran to the bathroom and unwrapped her head. The red wig was still there, stuck tight to her skin like it had grown from her scalp. She cried, grabbing scissors and trying to cut it off, but the scissors snapped in half. Blood dripped from her scalp. That night, she passed out from pain. The next day, Precious woke up in a place that wasn't her room. She was in a large open hall, dimly lit. The floor was water, shallow but clear. She was standing barefoot. Around her were mirrors, tall, ancient-looking, like gateways. Inside the mirrors were faces. All women, all with long hair, all with glowing eyes. Some smiled, some cried, some had no mouths. She turned around. There, sitting on a throne of silver waves, was the river girl. "You're here," she said softly. "Welcome." Precious's mouth trembled. "Where am I?" "You're between the world of the seen and unseen. You are now being claimed." Claimed. Each wig you sold carried a piece of us. You became the hand that placed our crowns on dry heads. "I didn't know." "You agreed," the girl replied. "You wore the crown. You profited. You cannot pretend now." Precious fell to her knees. "Please, I'm sorry. Just let me go. I'll give back everything. Just let me go." The girl stood. The other women in the mirrors began chanting softly. "You are the bridge, Precious. You are the one we chose because of your hunger, your pain, your longing. You open the door. I don't want to be chosen." The girl walked toward her, held her face gently, and said, "Then you must replace what was taken." Precious gasped. "What does that mean?" "Balance must be restored. The debt must be paid." The waters beneath her feet began to rise. She screamed. Then everything went dark. She woke up back in her salon, lying on the floor. Chica was sitting beside her crying. "You've been unconscious since yesterday. I thought you died." Precious sat up slowly. Her body ached. Her head felt like it was splitting open. "Chica," she whispered. "They said I have to replace what was taken." Chica looked confused. "What was taken?" "I don't know. But I think it's life. Souls. Balance." That evening, Precious packed the remaining wigs. She walked straight to Mama Ozioma's stall. "Mama, please help me." Mama looked at the wigs, her face tight with worry. "You've crossed too far. This is deeper than I thought. Please, just tell me what to do. You must fast. You must pray. You must be washed. You must reject the crown fully, mind, body, and spirit." "I'm ready." "Then come back at midnight, alone, and bring a white cloth, salt, and the last wig." Precious nodded. As she walked away, she heard the river girl's voice again. "You can't escape me, river child." The night came slowly, as though it too was afraid of what was coming. Precious sat alone in her salon, holding the final red wig in her hands. It no longer glowed, but it still felt warm, alive, like it had breath. She had wrapped the salt inside a white cloth, as Mama Ozioma had instructed. Her hands were shaking. At exactly midnight, she walked quietly to Mama's stall. The village was silent. No frogs, no crickets, just a heavy stillness. Mama Ozioma stood outside, dressed in white. A small bowl of water sat before her, with 3 candles flickering around it. "You came," Mama said softly. "I'm ready." Mama didn't smile. "We'll see." She told Precious to sit. Then she lit 3 sticks of incense, placed the wig in a gourd, and dropped salt into the bowl of water. "Repeat after me," Mama said. "I reject the crown that was placed on me." "I reject the crown that was placed on me," Precious said. "I return what is not mine. I return what is not mine. I choose to be free. I choose to be free." The candles flickered wildly. The wind began to howl. Then the gourd containing the wig shook. Mama Ozioma's eyes widened. "Keep your hands still. Don't break the circle." The bowl of water began to bubble like something was trying to rise from within. Then, a scream. Not from Mama, not from Precious, but from the wig. A long, loud, angry scream that sounded like 100 voices at once. Precious screamed and fell back. "Don't run," Mama shouted. The wig rose out of the gourd, floating in midair. It spun, twisted, changed. It no longer looked like hair. It looked like seaweed with eyes, teeth. It hissed at Precious. "You were mine," it growled. Precious stood her ground. "No, I return you. I choose freedom." The spirit rushed at her. She held up the white cloth. It burned the spirit. It screamed again and fell into the bowl of water, which turned black instantly. Smoke filled the air. Then silence. Precious fell to her knees. Mama Ozioma placed a hand on her head. It is done. Precious was crying. Is it over? Mama shook her head. For now. But the river remembers. Always. The next morning, Precious opened her salon again. People came. But this time, she only braided hair. No wigs. No leaves. Nothing from the river. She sold the mirrors. She bought new ones, plain and small. She prayed. She fasted. She worked. And the village began to change. Slowly, the noise around her died down. People went back to normal. The hype faded. Life returned. But one afternoon, weeks later, as she was closing her salon, she saw something strange by the riverbank. A girl. Not the river girl. A small child. She was holding a bird. A very colorful bird. The same kind of bird that started everything. Precious dropped her comb. Her heart beat faster. She ran out. Hey, come back. But the girl was already walking toward the river, following the bird. Just like the first girl years ago. Just like it all began.